Top 10 starting pitchers for 2025, starting off with the number 10 spot, Tyler Glasnow of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, Glasnow is a great talent, but can we expect him to stay on the field and pitch more than 150 innings? He pitched just 130 last year, and he's projected for 160 this year, and really, around that 150 mark is what we expect for him now. In those 150 innings, we know he's going to be dominant and untouchable and be amazing, but also you're just getting less out of him than you do with other guys. And that balance is what leaves him at the number 10 spot, but also what gets him on this list at the same time. Because what he can do in 150 innings is also a lot better than what some other pitchers do. Then at the number 9 spot, we have Blake Snell of the Los Angeles Dodgers, and also a very similar pitcher, although he reaches around 150 innings for kind of a different reason. It's not so much health related for him. He is also super dominant for fewer innings, and it's because of the way he pitches in each game. Because he pitches to be as dominant as possible, even if it costs him less time pitching in that specific day or that game. He's the type of pitcher who would rather go 5 innings and not give up a single run than go 8 innings and give up 2 runs. He's the type of pitcher that with 3 balls to a hitter, he would rather throw a swing and miss pitch to try to get him to chase than throw a pitch in the zone that the hitter can do damage with. This also leads to a lot of walks and a lot more pitches. But he does strike out a lot of hitters, and he has a really good ERA and a good projected ERA for next year. But the things that are going to suffer is WAR, because you're not pitching as much, so your quantity is going to be a little less. Your whip is going to be high because of all the walks. And that kind of leaves you with the question of Blake Snell, right? Because you're getting dominance, but you're not getting it for as much or as long a period of time as you're going to get it from all the other guys on this list. Then at the number 8 spot, we have Corbin Burnes of the Arizona Diamondbacks now. But he's a really nice combination of being elite and really dependable. We can get Cy Young level performance out of him year in and year out. He's going to take a lot of innings as he got nearly 200 last year, but 2024 was kind of odd. His strikeouts dropped a lot, and his whip wasn't that great either. He's still obviously an ace, but 2025, his projection is a 3.3 ERA, which is solid, but it's maybe not Cy Young level Corbin Burnes that we've come to expect. So we'll see what he does in a new home in Arizona this year. But that's going to take us to the number 7 spot, Garrett Crochet of the Boston Red Sox, another guy who's in a new home. We expect this one to help him out a lot. He's just 25 years old, which is really young, and he has been limited in his innings, really by his team, knowing that the innings he pitched doesn't matter to their success. He's also been on an uncompetitive team, which may have hurt him, and he's been on a bad fielding team, which has hurt him a lot. He's been very unlucky, and a lot of the advanced metrics say that Garrett Crochet is going to be very good this year, and a lot of people are picking him to win the American League Cy Young. But then at the number 6 spot, we have Logan Gilbert, who is my pick for the American League Cy Young in 2025. He's another really young pitcher, and he pitches in a pitcher-friendly ballpark, which helps out a lot. And he also led the league in whip last year. Now, whip is one of my favorite stats because not letting guys on base is a good way to keep them from scoring. And he also pitched over 200 innings last year. So Logan Gilbert is obviously very dominant, doesn't let people on base, pitches a lot. I think 2025 is going to be a great year for him as well. Then at the number 5 spot, we have Jacob deGrom of the Texas Rangers. I'll be honest, I got no clue how to rank Jacob deGrom. Never do, really. If we look at skill and stats, well, he's the best pitcher in the league, but he's never healthy, so we can't put him at number 1 because we haven't seen that in a few years now. But in 2025, he's actually coming into the year healthy for once. He actually pitched a little bit at the end of last year, which means he's had an entire healthy offseason now. If there's ever a time for him to stay healthy and pitch a decent amount, it's this year for the Texas Rangers. Then at the number 4 spot, we take a really big jump up though, and this is Zach Wheeler of the Philadelphia Phillies, with Corbin Burnes as another guy who's going to give you Cy Young level performance every single year. And I think he's really solidified himself as the most consistently elite pitcher in the league now. He is 34 years old and is coming off a 200 inning season. And this is really his 4th straight season of a ton of innings and a ton of starts. So my one concern with him is, where is his arm health at and his durability? How much longer can that arm hold in before it starts losing a few ticks of velocity, or maybe injury starts creeping in? So that's one minor concern. The other thing, and the reason he's below the other 3 guys on this list, because obviously he's amazing, but he's below the 3 guys in front of him in the stats. Strikeouts per 9, walks per 9, home runs per 9, ERA last year, projected ERA for this year. But that said, he's still obviously elite because those stats for him are a lot better than those stats for the guys behind him on this list. Like, he still strikes out a lot of hitters. He still had a great ERA last year. Just so happens that the other 3 guys in front of him outdid him. And that takes us to number 3, Paul Skeens. Now, Skeens is incredibly young, just 22 years old. He was insane in 2024, and he really probably has one of the freshest arms in the league. And the numbers from last year were just insane. They were actually better than everybody else's. Can he repeat that, or will he take a small step back in 2025? We will see, but either way, we really do expect to be getting an elite level of performance from Paul Skeens. Then, number 2 is Chris Sale of the Atlanta Braves. Now, Sale is getting a little up there in age as well. He is 35, but he didn't throw 180 innings last year. And his arm is fresh due to his injuries in the past, being things like a rib injury and a hand injury. So his arm has been healthy and sitting around, not really throwing all that much or that hard. I think his arm should be in a really good place to keep pitching this year, put up another good year. He also is coming off a triple crown in the National League, so we have to respect that. Then we have number 1, Tarik Skubal, the Cy Young from the American League, and just like Chris Sale, the American League Triple Crown winner. Now, Skubal is age 28. He pitched a good bit more than Sale did last year, but he was dominant all across the board in every stat. And with his youth just being 28 years old, hopefully he can maintain this elite level of pitching through 2025 and for many years into the future.